So the first thing that we're going to look at today is what I call E-style bar chords, and I'll explain why. And they have a root note, which is determined by the 6th string. So the first part of today's lesson will be actually explaining the notes on each fret of the 6th string, which will help determine the chords. And we'll see why in a sec. So there's two things you need to know: definition of semitones and tones. So basically a semitone is a gap of 1 fret. Now there's 2 notes that have semitones. It's the E and the F. There's no such thing as an E sharp or an F flat. We just go straight from E to F and also B to C. But everything else in between has a sharp or a flat. For instance, that's an F and that's a G. But the note in the middle could be referred to as F going sharper, F sharp, or G being flat, G flat. So they're an enharmonic equivalent. Essentially they're the same note, but people refer to them differently. So let's try this. If you look at the diagram, you'll see that above each fret we're going to place a note, and we're going to go through it now. So the first fret, the open fret, is an E note. The first fret is an F. The second fret is an F sharp or a G flat. The third fret is our G note. The fourth fret is a G sharp or an A flat. The fifth fret is an A. Fret number 6, A sharp or B flat. Fret number 7 is a B. Now this is where the semitone comes in. From B on the 8th fret is a C. You probably won't go much further than that with bar chords, but let's just carry on to the 12th fret. 9th fret is a C sharp or D flat. The 10th fret is the D. The 11th fret is the D sharp or E flat, and we're back at the E, which is an octave higher than that E. Now that's going to take a long time to absorb, but there's a couple of shortcuts that you need to know that will help you forever. Most guitars, not all acoustic guitars, but all electric guitars will have a dot on the 3rd fret, right? And you can see from in front there should be a little icon, a little pearl placed in there to let you know where you are. So the 3rd fret is always a G. That's one of your dots. The 5th fret is an A. Then you have the 7th fret, which is a B. The 9th, which is a C sharp or a D flat. And your double dot, which is the E again. So that's going to help you get out of trouble. Now, let's find out how to play a bar chord. And they're called E-style bar chords for a very good reason. They have a root in the E string, but they're also the E minor chord, which is one of the chords we've learned so far, or the E chord, or the E7. So we'll look at the diagram now. We're using different fingers. We're leaving our first finger spare because our first finger will take the place of a capo essentially, and we'll slide it up and down. So let's play our E chord. Right, second finger on the 1st fret, 3rd string. Your 3rd finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and your pinky right under it. There's your E chord. That's known as a major chord. The definition of a major chord is a happy, bold chord. Now we go to a minor chord. And that's very simple to get to. We lift our 2nd finger up, leave the 3rd string open. So minor chords tend to have a dark, dark sound. Think of a cloudy day and a sad sound. There's your major chords. And the other chord that we need to learn is a 7th chord. And we're going to pick our pinky up. Much more of a bluesy sounding chord. Now knowing those 3 chords will pretty much guarantee you can play any pop song in the world. And then moving it up and down is going to determine what the name of the chord is. So looking at our diagram again, which tells us the notes on top of the frets. If we wanted to go to an F chord, that's an E. The F note happens to be just there. So what you do is you move your finger up 1 fret, and now you bar across. There's your F chord. So remember, these fingers are always going to do the same thing. It's where this hand is that determines the name of the chord. Now, once again, if we pick up our second finger, it becomes sad. It becomes an F minor. If we pick up our pinky, the bluesy sound, it's an F7. So essentially what you need to do is A, get the finger strength, which is going to be the killer, but then sliding them up and down and trying to memorize where you are and then turning them into majors and minors. So let's try a very simple example. Let's try an A minor, G to an F. But let's play it all in bar chords. So let's work through this. The first chord's an A minor. So looking at your diagram, A is on the 5th fret, which, as I said before, is your second dot. There we go. So let's put our finger right across that 5th fret. Let's drop all our fingers down. Now, we did say it's a minor, so once again, look at the diagram telling you how to play a minor chord. You pick that finger up. There's your A minor. Now, the next chord is a G. So why bar chords? Well, let's have a look at this. We've got to find the 3rd fret, which is our first dot. All we've got to do is slide back 2 frets without moving the 3rd or 4th fingers, and we'll drop the 2nd finger back down. That's quite... It's a little bit easier than going... And particularly with the next chord, so we've got A minor to G, and we're going to play the F chord, which is on the 1st fret. As you can see by the diagram, it's still a major chord, so these fingers won't move. And we've just got to train our hand to slide down. So we can get our... So it makes life a bit easier. So you're not juggling, moving around, trying to find different fingerings. So what I want you to do for yourself, we'll do it very quickly now. But each day go through as many frets as you can, get your hands strong. So let's go E. 1st fret, F. F sharp or G flat. G, 3rd fret. 4th fret, G sharp or A flat. So we picked up our 2nd finger on the A flat. It's now called an A flat minor. Let's move the A flat minor up 1 fret. A minor. We'll drop it back down and we'll play an A chord. Now we go to the 6th fret, which is an A sharp or a B flat. 7th fret, which is a B. And we'll stop at the 8th fret because it gets a bit squashy in there. And there it is. So once you've done that and you've become familiar with the notes, maybe go through again and sort of go G, G minor, G7. You'll find that happens very easily because these fingers, once you memorise the chord type, that's the easy part. The hard part is where you are and getting the strength on your first finger. So, if you've come that far, I just want you to stop there, backtrack, go through this stuff again. It's really, really hard. It's a big change from the last couple of open chord songs and capo songs that we've done. And I just keep trying it. It's hard, but it's worth it. And it was great to have you on board for this lesson. And we'll see you for the next one.